Pioneer Arms forged underfolder in 5.56. Let's check it out. Pioneer Arms was founded in 2002. They're based out of Radom, Poland, which is a hub for really high quality AK-47s. This is an AKM, which means it has the stamped receiver, but it has a forged trunnion, which is a big deal, especially for keeping longevity with the firearm. And this is one of the underfolders, and one of the things about this particular gun, it's in 5.56 or 223, is it's been over 30 years since 223 or 5.56 underfolders have been imported into the U.S. It was before the assault weapons ban. And so this is really a cool design. And one of the reasons why we're seeing 5.56, because of a lot of steel-cased Russian ammo, 7.62 by 3.9 or 5.45. It's just going up in price and it's not being imported like it has been previously. And so a lot of people are turning to a 5.56 AK. It gives you a lot of great ballistics. The ammunition, you can get steel cased, but you can also get the brass fairly reasonable. And so it really makes it very appealing. With this underfolder, it makes it really super compact. And we're going to check it out. I mean, the Polish wood, all the rivets are set in Poland, and we're going to take a good look at it. But one of the things about Pioneer Arms, in their early days, they did have some quality control issues. But they really took the bull by the horns and they stepped up their QC. And it's very evident with this rifle, and we're going to take a good look at it. Now I got the Pioneer Arms AKM from Classic Firearms, and they sent this for me to check out. There's a lot of cool features about this gun, and we were just recently up there for the warehouse tour of Classic Firearms. I'll have it annotated right above. That was a lot of fun. Pioneer Arms out of Radom, Poland. And now this is not to be confused with the FB Radom, which is world famous for the Radom pistols and the Radom AKs, and which is a military contractor, and also just the Circle 10. But this is actually the Circle 11, which they purchased those facilities and the Kalashnikov diagrams and designs so they could really put these into spec. Now again, Pioneer Arms has had a few issues in the past. And because of that, they have really stepped up their quality control over the past couple of years. One thing about it, with the sights and the front sight tower, the gas tube, everything is lined up. I mean, they're very specific about it. And the quality control has really increased. But we'll get into a little bit more of that later. One of the things about this is that it is an underfolder 5.56, which again has not been seen imported into the U.S. for over 30 years. And so this makes it a little bit of an anomaly. But man, honestly, this is a beautiful rifle. Standard AK style mag release. Pull out our waffle pattern magazine. It does come with one. Pull back on the bolt and the gun is empty. Now the AK-47 does not hold open on the last round unless you have a last round bolt hold open feature on your magazine or here on the safety. And so as you bring it back, just engage your safety into this notch and it'll hold. And that way you can do any kind of work you want to do. And then when you want your bolt to go home, just drop down on the safety. Now this is considered an AKM, which means it has a stamped receiver. And that's what most of the military guns are, is stamped receivers. That's what they use. It's a lighter weight, it's easier to produce. And the other side of that is your milled receivers, which are a little heavier and they are solid, but again, they're a lot more expensive. And so this really keeps the price very reasonable. Now, one of the big things about this particular model is it does have a forged trunnion. And the trunnion fits the lower receiver to the barrel, kind of like a chamber in a sense. I mean, it locks all that in. And so that is one point that they use for full automatic select fire firearms. And so with this, they've included the steel trunnion. You know, the cast trunnions are fine for most of your semi-automatic firearms. You can have some issues if they're done improperly. And so with the forged trunnion, that just gives you added insurance that this gun is going to continue to function with heavy use. And one way to see that it is a stamped receiver or an AKM is this divot. And it's just part of the strength of the receiver. If it's milled, it'll have a large cutout rectangle. The rivets, extremely well done, and it's one of the things that Pioneer Arms has really paid a lot of attention to, getting that just right. Here on the left side also. And here's a look at the back side to see how these are fitted. And that tells a lot about the firearm. The barrel is 16 inches, it is 1 1/8 twist, and it has a melanite finish all throughout. It's not chrome lined. The melanite finish holds up extremely well, and it gives a beautiful sheen to the entire rifle. Now it has the slant muzzle brake, which it has a little detent, typical for AK-47s. It does have the 14-in-1 left-hand thread pitch. Also included is one of their Castle comps, and I really wanted to put this on the rifle to test at the range. I forgot it both times. But this, from all I've seen, these are very effective compensators. Even though this is just in 223, you know, it does have some velocity behind it. And we do have a cleaning rod, but it does not have a bayonet lug. But I'll have to say, a bayonet lug would make this rifle complete. And it would give me a home for my AK-47 bayonet. You've got a protected front sight with a post, and this is interchangeable. Rear sight, fully adjustable. I love how they have the meter markings all in white. And of course, when you get it out to 1,000 meters, you know, you're going to want to have that just right. But very smooth on the sight. And again, you can see that black nitride or melanite finish coming through. The Polish laminated forend and gas tube cover. We have one of the polymer grips, and this kind of matches the wood grip. You can get other grips to replace if you want to. But I like the texturing on this grip and this small lip. I mean, honestly, I'm going to leave this. But I like that it really blends in with the wood. And then we have the underfolder. And this just goes up under the rifle, and you can see the stock just folds out, and it allows it to rest right there against the stock. I mean, that thing is tucked away. And the release is back here on the back, which is traditional for your underfolders. And then it just comes all the way out. And as you see, you just turn your stock and turn that buttstock around. And it doesn't lock in this way, but it locks in against your shoulder. And that's traditional. But now one thing about shooting with this kind of stock is you do have metal against your cheek. One of the things I do like about this one, though, is some of the older designs, the Norinkos and some of the older Chinese imports, they would angle the stock, and it made it more difficult, honestly, to get a good cheek weld. And so that straight stock really helps. But it's a very well-made stock. Even the rivets in the stock are well done. Then to bring it around again, just hit that button, bring it around, and it folds up really nice and neat. Well, you have a sling swivel here at the back. And also, we have a little sling mount right here at the front. To me, these markings really set this rifle off, and you've got Radom, Poland, and number 11, which is for the original Circle 11. Here it is with the underfolder collapsed. There's a number of things, though, that Pioneer Arms has done to improve their QC. One big thing is their rivets, setting the headspace, getting all that done at the factory, the polish on the receivers. And once they get here to the U.S., Pioneer Arms USA does all the 92R compliant stuff that needs to be done to have these imported into the country. And that's with all imported firearms. Now guys, why would you want the 5.56 over the 5.45 by 3.9 or the 7.62 by 3.9? This is the traditional AK-47 round. And then we have the traditional AK-74 round. And obviously the Russians really were trying to get close to what the 5.56 was capable of. There's a lot of advantages. Yes, the 7.62 has greater knockdown power, but it has less velocity, has less range. And then with the 5.56, it's just softer shooting. And so it kind of brought together the 5.45 by 3.9. But one of the big pluses for 5.56 is 5.45 by 3.9, has been difficult to get at best. There have been bans against this ammunition, then they released them, and now with the Russian import bans, a lot of this steel-cased ammo is not coming in as cheap as it used to. And there's a higher demand, so the price has gone up. Here with the 5.56, it's very popular. You can find it all over, and the ammunition prices are coming down. You can also get this in a steel-cased ammunition as well. So the big reason for 5.56 popularity is just ammo availability, and honestly, it just gives you really good performance. I'm a big fan of the 5.45 by 39, and I love this in an AK-74, but guys, it's just getting harder to get and the prices are going up. But for me, I love all three of the rounds, but if I was just getting started and I didn't have an AK, the 223 or 5.56 would be very appealing. Now guys, obviously a concern is magazine availability, but there are a number of different companies that make these magazines, including Zastava. But I did see a 2-pack of these magazines for like $33.95. But you can take your AK-74 magazines and replace the followers for 5.56, and these will function as well. And you'll need to test those out and make sure that they fit. And the weight with the magazine. 7 pounds, 9.2 ounces. I want to thank Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA. #1 supplier of ammunition in the country. And this stuff, again, is very consistent. Man, I'll tell you, that 223 is completely different than 7.62 by 3.9. So that makes me want to get out the 7.62 by 3.9, which we're going to bring the next time we come out. We'll just shoot these side by side. But the underfolder definitely also makes a little bit of a difference than that standard stock. But very comfortable to shoot. The slant muzzle brake kind of pushes it down and gives it a little bit different feel to it. But it's really, for an AK, this is just super soft shooting, especially with the 5.56 or the 223. For disassembly, standard for your AK-47 long stroke piston. We're going to hit this button here at the back of the dust cover and then bring the dust cover up and it comes right out. Here we have our recoil spring and guide rod, and we're just going to push it forward until it releases out of the grooves, and then we're going to pull it out. Man, you got a long spring right there. Then bring back your bolt and just pull out your bolt carrier. And it's that long stroke piston system. Man, we have shot the fire out of this. You can see, I mean, it is really dirty, but very well done. I mean, a nice finish over this. Of course, we're going to pull our bolt out. Definitely has the AK-47 mark on it. Here we have the trigger group. It is single hook. We do have a retaining plate inside that really allows for this to stay aligned. I'd like to replace those retaining plates to give it a little more strength to the trigger and the fire control group. And you have your dual trigger springs in there, and it's got actually a fairly nice trigger pull, and we'll check that out in a second. Now, you don't have to remove your gas tube for your standard cleaning, but right here is the lever. And I'm tell you what, guys, I've tried this. It is on there tight. So we're gonna go ahead and just lift it up, take a pair of needle nose pliers, and then just grip your gas tube and you pull it out, and it's in there pretty tight. This way you can clean out any kind of debris if you want to, but it is a pretty large cavity, so this is not something you really need to do that often. Then just attach it to the front first, drop it down. Yeah, that is really tight, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. Lock it back into place. You can use your bolt, but I like to leave my bolt like it is. Take your bolt, return it to the bolt carrier, move it forward. Go ahead and place it in the top. Push down like this and then push forward. Then take your recoil spring, slide it into the rear. And again, you want to get it into these little grooves right there. Then we're going to take our dust cover. You want to get it on the top and lock it down. Double check your dust cover to make sure that it's locked down so it's not in the incorrect place that'll hold it. But we're all set. It's a really simple rifle, and breakdown is simple. And we're going to check the trigger pull action. Just a teeny bit of take up, and then the break. Very AK. And we're going to check the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge and Brownells. 4 pounds, 9 ounces. 4 pounds, 5.1 ounces. And guys, I always mention Brownells because I really appreciate them sending this, but it's been like 5 years ago and I don't make any money on it. I just say it. But every once in a while, I'll see in the comments where somebody will make some remark about it. Price on the Pioneer Arms Forged Trunnion 5.56 underfolder is $7.99. They do make the standard cast trunnions and the different models, and a lot of those prices are less. Of course, they have black furniture, I mean a number full stock, a number of different things that you can get with it in different calibers. But honestly, with the price of ammo right now and the availability, I think that going with a 5.56 AK can take care of your AK itch if you don't have the funds to really spend a heck of a lot more. And then, of course, ammo is going to be less available in other calibers than 5.56. So pros and cons. Of course, that is one of the big pros is for 5.56. But even if you go with 7.62 by 3.9, I mean, that is the traditional round, and there's still a lot of that ammo out there. Beautiful melanite finish all throughout. You got your forged trunnion. Of course, the magazines are going to be kind of iffy. I mean, you can get your AK-47 magazines and change the followers. These waffle type pattern magazines seem to be pretty reasonable. Even the Zastava mags, which fit this in the 5.56, you know, they're going to run you about $25. So these are going to be a little bit less. You do have your cleaning rod. You have an extra muzzle brake if you want to go with the Castle muzzle brake. The sights on here, I love the white outline. I mean, the underfolder is one of my favorites, and I love that laminated wood. But again, you can go with the polymer stocks. Yes, Pioneer Arms has had some issues in the past, and it's definitely one of those things with a lot of the older rifles that you want to be careful of and make sure that your sights are aligned, they're not canted, your gas tube is in line. But one of the things that Pioneer is really striving to do is take care of those in particular. A lot of the details throughout, I mean, it just looks spot on. So I think for a really reasonably priced AK, I think this is going to be a great option. You can spend a lot more, but definitely the quality of this coming out of Poland and designed on Kalashnikov documentation. So guys, if you're looking for an AK-47, and again, I think it's a smart choice to go to 223 or 5.56 because of ammo availability and the prices coming down. You can still get the steel cased ammunition from some of the other Eastern Bloc countries as well. It's a very highly functioning rifle. The fit and finish is beautiful, and I love that melanite finish. It makes it really smooth. Forged trunnion, I mean, it's definitely a big bonus, and because it is an AKM with the stamp receiver, it's going to kind of drop the weight down. For the price, I mean, these are a great entry AK to get into. And then if you want to go with the 7.62 by 3.9, they have those as well, and a lot of other options. So Pioneer Arms has really stepped up to the plate, and it's great to see an affordable AK-47 or AKM. And we really appreciate Classic Firearms for sending the Forged Trunnion 5.56 AK. This has been a great experience. We do have the 7.62 by 3.9 full stock AK coming out from Pioneer Arms as well. And it's really nice for Classic Firearms to send us some firearms which we can bring to you guys and show you what's out there. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. standard AKs. And the gun is empty. Let's do that again, because that was really pathetic. And included also is one of their Castle comps. Well, if I turn it the right way. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring. I got you with your bad self. Go ahead.
I can dance without moving. I've done it for 30 years.
The underfolder stock makes it super compact, but yet.
Why did it feel like I had 20 rounds in there? Oh, you did 10. Yeah.
Why did it feel like I had as many rounds in there as I was supposed to?
Yeah, if you pull it out here, it makes it seem like it's wonky.
Yeah.
Of course, considering most people shoot it like that in the Middle East.